Okay, 那 glad to meet you again， 又和大家见面了。那么这节课呢属于第3节课。那么上节课呢我们谈到了本单元的单词记忆的方式以及重要的单词。那么这节课呢我们主要是阅读课。那么阅读呢主要体现内容就是阅读的背景知识以及细节题，那么推断题，那么还有主旨大意题。我们在阅读的过程当中如何来进行训练。Okay. Now first one, Unit 1. Great scientist. Now, maybe some students are familiar with some famous scientists. Okay. Now, I will give you a quiz about some common sense about science. Okay. Now, first, which scientist said, "Give me a place to stand on, I can move the earth." 那么下面哪位科学家说道：如果给我一个支点，我就能够翘起地球。Okay. Look at the pictures. Now, first one, Charles Darwin. Next, Archimedes. C, Thomas Edison. Okay, of course we can know Archimedes. Okay, 阿基米德. Okay, now he discovered that objects in water are lifted up by a force that helps them float. Okay, next, who wrote a book explaining how animals and plants develop as the environment changed? 那么 you better pay attention to this word as. 随着环境的变化，那么谁写了一本关于那么解释动物和植物随着环境的变化而不断发展的呢？谁写了这本书？ Okay, now first, Madame Curie. Now second, George Mendel. Now C, Charles Darwin. Okay, of course we know it is Charles Darwin. Okay, Darwin. Yes. Okay, now next, who invented the first steam engine? 谁首先发明了蒸汽机？ Okay, now A, Thomas Newcomen. Now B, Archimedes. C, Thomas Edison. Of course we know it's A, Thomas Newcomen. Okay, now next question, who used peas to show how physical characteristics are placed from parents to their children? Okay. Now first, Thomas Edison. Now next, George Mendel. C, Archimedes. Of course, we can know George Mendel. Okay. Now next, who discovered radium? 谁发明了镭？ Okay. Now first, Madame Curie. B, 张衡。 Okay. Now C, Newton. Of course we know Madame Curie. Okay. Now next, who invented the way of giving electricity to everybody in large cities? Okay. Now first, Stephen Hawking. Okay. Now Archimedes, Thomas Edison. Of course we know that is Thomas Edison. Okay. Now number 7. Who was the painter that studied dead bodies to improve his painting of people? Okay. Now A, George Mendel. B, Leonardo da Vinci. Now Marie Curie. Okay. Of course we know that's B, Da Vinci. Okay. Now number 8. Who invented a lamp to keep miners safe underground? Okay. Now Sir Humphrey Davy. Thomas Newcomen. C, Faraday. Of course we know that's the Davy. Okay. Davy. Now invited important character element 美 ，OK 美的发明者，这种元素的发明者 ，OK。Now next, who invented Alice instrument to tell people where earthquakes happened? Okay, now first Charles Darwin, 达尔文。Now B, 张衡。C, Watt, 瓦特。OK, of course 谁最早发明了可以判定地震在哪里发生的仪器 ？Of course, now Chinese 张衡 okay. Now number 10, who put forward a theory about black holes? 谁提出了黑洞理论 okay. Now maybe Stephen Hawking, okay, is a famous scientist. Okay. Now what impressed you most in 2003? Maybe now especially in Beijing, now some students or some people are afraid of a kind of disease. Maybe it's SARS, okay, of course. Okay, now maybe some people and some students are afraid now in the street there are few people. Now in the car, in the bars, there are few people. Okay, now who did great contributions to defeating the SARS? Okay, 在抵御 SARS 的过程当中，谁做了比较巨大的贡献呢？钟南山 Stephen Hawking。Now 钱学森 of course A 钟南山。Okay. Now next. Now today we're going to learn John Snow defeats skin cholera. Okay. Now cholera means a kind of disease. 霍乱。Okay. Now John Snow 约翰斯诺 okay is a great person. Okay. A scientist. Okay. Now next. We'd better know how to prove a new idea, put them in order. Okay. Now, if we want to now investigate something, or now we want to analyze something, we better now according to some procedure. Okay. Now, the following form, according to this, we should know how to prove a new idea. Now, put them in order. Now, first, now maybe. If we want to prove a new idea, now first you will find a problem. 那么下面呢就是我们如何来证明一种观点。下面有几种思路啊。第一个 find a problem， 我首先要发现问题 ，find a problem。Okay. Now next, maybe we make up a question. 我们要编造一个问题，发现问题上找到问题。Okay. Now next, think of method. 那我们想到解决的方式 ，think of method。Next, we will collect results. 我们要收集一些证据，收集一些结果。Okay. Now next, analyze the results. 我们要把收集这些结果要进行分析处理。Okay. Now next, find supporting evidence. 找到证据来支持你分析的结果。Then draw a conclusion. 然后下出结论。Last, it better repeat if necessary. Okay. Now this is a procedure of how to now make a research about science. Okay. How to prove a new idea. Now first find a problem, make up a question, think of method, find supporting evidence, draw a conclusion. Now repeat if necessary, analyze the results, collect results. Okay. Now this is a procedure about this. Okay. This is the end of. Now next, we will understand the title. 我们要理解一下我们的课题那么 John Snow defeats skin cholera. Okay. Now in some reading comprehension, the best maybe the title will give you some information. 在我们阅读理解的过程当中这个标题呢会给我们提供很多的信息。那么这一课的标题看我们如何来理解，因为在高考的这个阅读理解过程当中有主旨大意题、细节题、推断题、猜词题。那么有一个比较重要的能力就是主旨大意。那么主旨在哪儿呢？标题就是一个主旨，一个文章最集中的体现。所以我们要进行这样的训练。For example, title understanding. 那么下面呢是对于这个标题的4种理解方式。First one, John Snow was a well-known doctor in London. When you read the title, John Snow defeats skin cholera. 当你读到这篇文章课题的时候 ，John Snow defeats skin cholera. 那你的理解是什么呢？下面有4个选项，我们一起来看。John Snow was a well-known doctor in London. The cause of cholera was polluted water. The source of or drinking water should be examined. How did John Snow collect, analyze data, and find the cause of the disease and solve it? Okay, 4个理解方式，我们一起来看。Of course, we can choose D. Okay, how did John Snow collect, analyze data, and find the cause of the disease and solve it? Okay, now this is the title understanding. Okay, now next, we will find the main idea of each part. Okay, 我们要找到每一段的主旨大意。实际上，这个就是这个主旨大意概括的一个能力的训练。Okay, now we can divide this passage into 4 parts. Okay. Now there are 6 paragraphs in this passage. We can divide into 4 parts. Okay. Now part 1, maybe it is paragraph 1. Okay. Part 2, paragraph 2. Part 3, paragraph 3 to paragraph 5. Okay. Now part 4 is the last paragraph. It is paragraph 6. Okay. Now there's some meaning in the study of the outbreak in 1854. Prevention of cholera and John Snow defeated King Cholera. Instruction number 2, theories. Instruction John Snow and cholera. Okay. Now, there's some meanings about each part. Okay. Now, first part one maybe is instruction of John Snow and cholera. Okay. Now, part 2 maybe instruction number 2, theories. Okay. Now, part 3 is study of the outbreak in 1854. Now, part 4. Prevention of cholera and John Snow defeated King Cholera. Okay. Now this is some general idea about this. Now John Snow defeats King Cholera. Now part 1, introduction of John Snow and cholera. Final problem. What is cause of cholera? Okay. 引起霍乱的原因是什么 Final problem. Okay. Now then, part 2 theories. Now make up a question. Now, which is right? Which is right? Okay. Then that's part 3, study of the outbreak in 1854. Okay. What did John Snow do when another outbreak hit London in 1854? Okay. He was ready to test the 2 theories. Okay. Now he began to gather information. Now he marked on a map where all the dead people had lived. Okay. What did John Snow do when another outbreak hit London in 1854? 3 things. Okay. Now he drew a map. Now this map is think of method. Okay. Now mark on a map. Okay. Result. Now what are words to blame? Now the cause of cholera is water. Okay. Now let's collect and analyze results. Result 1. What was the cause of the cholera? 第一个结果，水是引起霍乱的一个原因。Now research, okay, look into the source of water for 2 streets. 水源，调查水源。Look into the source of water for 2 streets. Now research, he found that the water came from the river. 首先发现水源的问题。第二，水来自哪 ？Come from the river. Okay. Now suggesting he told people to remove the handle from the water pump. Remove the handle from the water pump. Okay, that is a suggestion of ways to solve this problem. Now, result 3. Now, he found 2 other deaths in another part of London. Okay, he found 2 other deaths in another part of London. Okay. Now, conclusion: polluted water caused the disease. 最后的结论是污水带走了疾病。Okay. 带来了疾病。Okay. Now, he suggested that the source of the water supplies be examined and now new muscles be formed. Okay. Now let's find a problem. Now what's the cause of cholera? Okay. Now first, make up a question. Which theory is right? Think of method. Now study the outbreak in 1854 and gather information, collect data. Okay. Now let's collect results. Okay. Now mark information on a map to find out where that people live. Analysis results, find out where they got water. Analysis water to see if it is the cause of the illness. Okay. Find support and supporting evidence. Now find 2 other deaths in another part. Make a conclusion. Now the polluted, dirty source of drinking water was to blame for the cause of cholera. Okay. Now let's repeat if it's necessary. Now, not necessary in those experiments as the conclusions were so clear. Now, scientific report by John Snow. The problem: nobody knew the cause of the serious disease of cholera. 2 theories adhere: strong cloud in the air that attract people. Adhere to people absorb the disease with their meals. The method: now collect data from the last cholera attack to test theories. Try to prove which method was correct. The results: he found the cause of cholera was now the polluted water. Okay. Now 82 because data showed a connection between the water and the deaths. The conclusion: cholera could be defeated, not that its cause was known. Okay. Now this is some information about this task. Okay. Now last task we should summary this task. Okay. John Snow was, of course we know, well-known doctor, okay, 非常出名的 doctor in London in the 19th century. He wanted to find cross color in order to now defeat or control it. Okay, John Snow was a well-known doctor in London in the 19th century who wanted to find a cross color in order to defeat or control it. In 1854, when the color broke out, 当霍乱爆发的时候 he began to gather information, 开始收集信息 He marked on a map where all the dead people had lived, and he found that many people who had drank the dirty water from the pump died. Okay, so he decided that bloody water carried color. He suggested that the source of all water supply be examined, and new methods of dealing with polluted water be found. Finally, king color was defeated. This is the summary about this. Now I will read it for you again. John Snow was a well-known doctor in London in the 19th century. He wanted to find cross color in order to defeat it. In 1854, when the color broke out, he began to gather information. He marked on a map where all the dead people had lived, and he found that many people who had drank the dirty water from the pump died. So he decided that polluted water carried color. He suggested that the source of all water supply be examined, and new methods of dealing with polluted water be found. Finally, king color was defeated. Okay, this is the end of this lesson. Okay, thank you.